वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवतोत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। हरिः ओं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 11. Svāyambhuva Manu advises Dhruva Maharaj to stop fighting. Before we proceed, may I ask if the voice is okay or is too much windy or noisy?
It's okay, Prabhuji.
Would you prefer if I turn off the fan here? I can do that.
I personally don't hear any disturbance. I'm not sure about others.
Okay. Okay. So reading from the chapter 11, Canto 4. Svāyambhuva Manu advises Dhruva Maharaj to stop fighting. Maitrevacha निशम्य गदताम् एवं ऋषीणां धनुषी ध्रुवः सन्दतेऽस्त्रम् उपसृप्य यन्नारायण निर्मितम्. Sri Maitreya said, "My dear Vidura, when Dhruva Maharaj heard the encouraging words of the great sages, he performed the achaman by touching water and then took up his arrow made of Lord Narayan and fixed it upon his bow. सन्धीयमान एतस्मिन् माया गुह्यकनिर्मिताः क्षिप्रं विनेशुर्विधुरा क्लेशाज्ञानोदये यथा." As soon as Dhruva Maharaj joined the Narayanastra arrow to his bow, the illusion created by the Yakshas was immediately vanquished, just as all material pains and pleasures are vanquished when one becomes fully cognizant of the self. Tasya shastra धनुषी प्रयुजता सुवर्ण पुंकाः कलहं सवाससः विनिहृष्टा आविविक्षुर्विशद बलं यथा वनं भूमिम रवाः शिखण्डिनः. Even as Dhruva Maharaj fixed the weapon made by Narayana Rishi onto his bow, arrows with golden shafts and feathers like the wings of a swan flew out from it. They entered the enemy's soldiers with great hissing sound, just as peacocks enter a forest with tumultuous crowing. तैस्तिग्मदारे प्रदने शिलीमुखैर् इतस्ततः पुण्य जना उपद्रुताः तम अभ्य दावन् कुपिता उदायुधाः सुपर्णम् उन्नद फना इवाहयः. Those sharp arrows dismayed the enemy soldiers, who became almost unconscious, but various yakshas on the battlefield, in a rage against Dhruva Maharaj, somehow or other collected their weapons and attacked. Just as serpents, agitated by Garuda, rushed towards Garuda with upraised hoods, all the Yaksha soldiers prepared to overcome Dhruva Maharaj with their upraised weapons. Satan Prishatter Abhidhavato Mride निकृत बाहुरुरु शिरोधरोदरान् निनाय लोकं परम अर्कमण्डलं व्रजन्ति निर्विद्य यन् ऊर्ध्वरेतः सः. When Dhruva Maharaj saw the Yakshas coming forward, he immediately took his arrows and cut the enemies to pieces, separating their arms, legs, heads, and bellies from their bodies. He delivered the Yakshas to the planetary system, which is situated above the sun globe and which is attainable only by first-class brahmacharis who have never discharged their semen. तां हन्यमानाम् अभिवीक्ष्य गुह्यकान् अनागसश्चित्ररथेन भूरिशः औत्तानपादिं कृपया पितामहो मनुर्जगादोपगतः सहस्रशिभिः. When Swayambhuva Manu saw that his grandson Dhruva Maharaj was killing so many of the yakshas who were not actually offenders, out of his great compassion, he approached Dhruva with great sages to give him good instruction. Manuruvacha alam vitsatirosena tam dvarena papmana yena punya jana etan avadhisvam anagasaha. Lord Manu said, "My dear son, please stop. It is not good to know and become unnecessarily angry. It is the path to hellish life. Now you are going beyond the limit by killing yakshas who are actually not offenders. Nasmat kulochitam tata karmaitat sadvigarhitam vado yad upadevanam arabdaste Kritainasham, my dear son, the killing of the sinless yakshas, which you have undertaken, is not at all approved by authorities, and it does not befit our family, which is supposed to know the laws of religion. नन्वेक नन्वेकस्यापराधेन प्रसङ्गाद्भव वो हताः भ्रातुर्विधाभितप्तेन त्वयाङ्ग भ्रातृवत्सल. My dear son, it has been proved that you are very much affectionate towards your brother and are greatly aggrieved at his being killed by the yakshas. But just consider, for one yaksha's offense, you have killed many others who are innocent. नायं मार्गो हि साधूनां ऋषिकेशानुवर्तिनां यद् आत्मानं पराग्रह्य पशुवद् भूतवैशसम्. One should not accept the body as a self and thus, like the animals, kill the bodies of others. This is especially forbidden by saintly persons who follow the path of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. सर्वभूतात्मभावेन भूतावासं हरिं भवान् आराध्यापदुराराध्यं विष्णोस्तत्परमं padam. It is very difficult to achieve the spiritual abode of Hari in the Vaikuntha planets, but you are so fortunate that you are already destined to go to that abode by worshipping him as the supreme abode of all living entities. सत्वं हरेरनुध्यातस्तत्पुंसाम् अपि सम्मतः कथं त्वा अवध्यं कृतवान् अनुशिक्षन् सतामृतम्. Because you are a pure devotee of the Lord. The Lord is always thinking of you, and you are always recognized by all his confidential devotees. Your life is meant for exemplary behavior. I am therefore surprised. Why have you undertaken such an abominable task? तितिक्षया कारुण्यया मैत्र्या चाखिल जन्तुषु समत्वेन च सर्वात्मा Bhagavan samprasidati. The Lord is very satisfied with his devotee when the devotee greets other people with tolerance, mercy, friendship, and equality. Samprasanne bhagavati purushah prakritir gunaihi vimukto jiva nirmukto brahma nirvanam richati. One who actually satisfies the Supreme Personality of Godhead during one's lifetime becomes liberated from the gross and subtle material conditions. Thus, being freed from all material modes of nature, he achieves unlimited spiritual bliss. भूतैः पञ्चभिरारभ्य पुरुष एव हि तयोर्व्यवायात् सम्भूतिर्योषित् पुरुषयोरिह. The creation of the material world begins with the five elements, and thus everything, including the body of a man or a woman, is created for of these elements. By the sexual life of man and woman, and the number of men and women in this material world is further increased. एवं प्रवर्तते सर्गः स्थितिः संयम एव च गुण व्यतिकरात् राजन् मायया paramatmanah. Manu continued, "My dear King Dhruva, it is simply by the illusory material energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and by the interaction of the three modes of material nature that creation, maintenance, and annihilation takes place. निमित्तमात्रं तत्रासीन् निर्गुणः पुरुषर्षभः व्यक्ताव्यक्तम् इदं विश्वं यत्र भ्रमति लोहवत्." My dear Dhruva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. He is the remote cause of the creation of this metal cosmic manifestation. When he gives the impetus, many other causes and effects are produced, and thus the whole universe moves, just as iron moves around, moves by the integrated force of a magnet. सकलविदं भगवान् कालसत्या गुणप्रवे प्रवाहेण विभक्तवीर्यः करोत्यकर्तैव निहन्त्यहन्ता चेत चेष्टा विमू sorry चेष्टा विभून्न कलौ दुर्विभाव्य. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, by his inconceivable supreme energy, time, causes the interaction of the three modes of material nature, and thus varieties of energy become manifest. It appears that he is acting, but he is not acting. He is killing, but he is not the killer. Thus, it is understood that only by inconceivable potency is everything happening. सोऽनन्तान्तकरः कालो अनादिर् आदिकृत् अव्ययः जनं जनेन जनयन् मारयन् मृत्युनान्तकम्. My dear Dhruva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is ever existing, but in the form of time, He is the killer of everything. He has no beginning. Although He is the beginning of everything, nor is He ever exhaustible, although everything is exhausted in due course of time. The living entities are created through the agency of the Father and killed through the agency of death, but He is perpetually free of birth and death. न वै स्वपक्षोऽस्य विपक्ष एव वा परस्य मृत्योर्विशतः समं प्रजाः तं दावमानम् अनुदावति अनीशा यथा रजां स्यानिलं भूतसंज्ञा. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, in this feature of eternal time, is present in the material world and is neutral towards everyone. No one is his ally and no one is his enemy. Within the jurisdiction of the time element, everyone enjoys or suffers the results of his own karma or fruitful activities. As when the wind blows, small particles of dust fly in the air, so according to one's particular karma, one suffers or enjoys material life. आयुषोपचयं जन्तोस् तथैवोपचयं विभुः उभाभ्यां रहितः स्वस्थो स्वस्थो दुस्तस्य विदधात्यसौ. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu is all powerful and he awards the results of one's fruitive activities. Thus, although one living entity's duration of life is very small, whereas that of another is very great, he is always in his transcendental position and there is no question of lessening or increasing his duration of life. केचित् कर्म वदन्त्येनं स्वभावम् अपरे नृप एके कालं परे दैवं पुंसः कामम् उतापरे. The differentiation among the varieties of life and their suffering and enjoyment is explained by some to be the results of karma. Others say it is due to nature, others due to time, others due to fate, and still others say it is due to desire. अव्यक्तस्याप्रमेयस्य नानाशक्य उदस्य च न वै चिकीर्षितं तात को वेदात स्वसंभवम्. The absolute truth, transcendence, is never subject to the understanding of impersonal sensory endeavor, nor is he subject to different experience. He is the master of varieties of energies like the full material energy, and no one can understand his plans or actions. Therefore, should be concluded that although he is the original cause of all causes, no one can know him by mental speculation. न चैते पुत्रक भ्रातुर्हन्तारो धनदानुगाः विसर्गादानयो तात पुंसो दैवं हि कारणम्. My dear son, those yakshas who are descendants of Kubera are not actually the killers of your brother. The birth and death of every living entity are caused by the Supreme, who is certainly the cause of all causes. स एवं विश्वं सृजति स एवावति हन्ति च अथापि हि अनहङ्कारान् नाजते गुणकर्मभिः The Supreme Personality of Godhead creates this material world, maintains it, and annihilates it in due course of time. But because he is transcendental to such activities, he is never affected by ego in such action or by the modes of material nature. एष भूतानि भूतात्मा भूतेषु भूतभावनः स्वसत्या मायया युक्तः सृजति अत्ति च पाति च. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the super soul of all living entities. He is the controller and maintainer of everyone. Through the agency of his external energy, he creates, maintains, and annihilates everyone. तमेव मृत्युम् अमृत्यतात दैवम् सर्वात्मनोपेहि जगत्परायणम् यस्मै बलिं विश्वसृजो हरन्ति गावो यथा वै नसीदाम यन्त्रिताः. My dear boy Dhruva, please surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the ultimate goal of the progress of the world. Everyone, including the demigods headed by Lord Brahma, is working under his control, just as a bull prompted by a rope in its nose is controlled by its owner. यः पञ्चवर्षो जननीं त्वं विहाय मातुः सपत्न्या वचसा भिन्नमर्मा वनं गतस्तपसा प्रत्यक् अक्षम् आराध्य लेभे मूर्ध्नि पदं त्रिलोक्याः. My dear Dhruva, at the age of only 5 years, you were very grievously afflicted by the words of your mother's co-wife, and you very boldly gave up the protection of your mother and went to the forest to engage in the yogic process for realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As a result of this, you have already achieved the topmost position in all the three worlds. तमेनम् अङ्गात्मनि मुक्तविग्रहे व्यपाश्रितं निर्गुणम् एकम् अक्षरम् आत्मानम् अन्विच्छं विमुक्तम् आत्मदृक् यस्मिन् इदं भेदम् असत् प्रतीयते. Therefore, my dear Dhruva, please turn your attention to the Supreme Person, who is the infallible Brahman. Face the Supreme Personality of Godhead in your original position, and thus by his self-realization, you will find this material differentiation to be merely flickering. त्वं प्रत्यक् आत्मनि तदा भगवति अनन्त आनन्दमात्र उपपन्न समस्तशक्तौ भक्तिं विधाय परमां सनक अविद्या ग्रन्थिं बिभेत्स्यसि ममाहम् इति प्ररूढम्. Thus, regaining your natural position and rendering service unto the Supreme Lord, who is the all-powerful reservoir of all pleasure, and who lives in all living entities as the super soul, you will very soon forget the illusory understanding of I and mine. Samyaccharosham badram te pratipam shreyasam param shrutena bhuyasa rajan agadena yathamayam. My dear king, just consider what I have said to you, which will act as medicinal treatment upon disease. Control your anger, for anger is the foremost enemy on the path of spiritual realization. I wish all good fortune for you. Please follow my instructions. येनोपसृतात् पुरुषाल् लोक उद्विजते भृशं न बुधस्तद्विषं न बुधस्तद्वशं गच्छेत् इच्छन् अभयम् आत्मनः. A person who desires liberation from this material world should not fall under the control of anger, because when bewildered by anger, one becomes a source of dread of all others. हेलनं गिरिशः धनदस्य त्वया कृतं जग्निवां पुण्यजनां भ्रातृ ज्ञान इति अमर्षितः. My dear Dhruva, you thought that the Yakshas killed your brother, and therefore you have killed great numbers of them. But by this action, you have agitated the mind of Lord Shiva's brother Kuvera, who is the treasurer of demigods. Please note that your actions have been very disrespectful to Kuvera and Lord Shiva. Tam prasadaya vatsasu sannatya prasrayoktibihi na yavan mahatam tejaha pulamno vihavas havishyati. For this reason, my son, you should immediately pacify Kuvera with great words and prayers, and thus his wrath may not affect our family. Evam Svāyambhuva Pautram Anusu Anusyasa Manu Dhruvam Tena Vivandita Sakam Rishibhi Swapuram Yayoho. Thus, Swayambhu Manu, after giving instruction to Dhruva Maharaj, his grandson, received respectful obeisances from him. Thus, Lord Manu and the great sages went back to their respective homes. Hare Krishna. Thus ends this chapter 11th from the 4th canto, entitled Svāyambhuva Manu advises Dhruva Maharaj to stop fighting. Hare Krishna. So, what happened after Dhruva Maharaj? Yeah, learned the news that Uttama was killed by Yaksha, and then he came, and there was this tremendous war. And of course, Yakshas were also powerful, and they were also counteracting, attacking. And the rishis, they came and they inspired him to be careful in his. Yeah. So this chapter is in continuation where it said, Maitreya Rishi is saying to Vidura, yeah, that he's describing what happened when Dhruva Maharaj heard the encouraging words of the sages. What he did is he performed achaman by touching water, and then took up his arrow made by Lord Narayana, and fixed it, Narayan Rishi, and fixed it upon his bow. So here there are, I mean, yeah, I'm sure I'll not have enough time to cover all the purports in nice detail, or even at least to a little extent. So request everyone to read them. I appreciate here a very straight, simple process that we should be careful is perform achaman. Hmm. To perform achaman is very simple. We may think, oh, it's so difficult. No, it's very simple. There are elaborate versions, there are short versions, there are even super short versions. So one or the other one should take up. Why? Because through the process of Achaman, one purifies his own self, inside and outside. Yeah. And what does that mean? Is not just purification, but actually uh, offering this temple-like body to the Lord and asking the Lord by various names who are protecting various parts of the body. Okay, so here, and this is also done, especially when we are performing what do you call this services. And here, what Dhruva was doing is he was reciting prayers so that he can invoke Narayan Astra. And as soon as Dhruva joined the Narayan Astra, then the Yakshas, the illusion created by Yakshas was immediately vanquished. Just as all material pains and pleasures are vanquished when one becomes fully cognizant of the self. How to get fully cognizant is mentioned in the purport. It is said, Mayam etam tarantite. Uh, mm, this material world is so powerful and very difficult. Mm. But the Lord advises in the 7th chapter that Mayam etam tarantite. But if one takes shelter of the Lord, then Maya cannot do anything. So constant chanting of Maha Mantra will keep us always aloof from the illusory energy of Maya. And then going further, these enemies, they entered the enemy soldiers with great hissing sound, and just so when Dhruva fixed the weapon made of Narayan Rishi onto his bow, uh, then so many weapons came out, and then the enemies also started counteracting. Uh, and this is described. When Dhruva Maharaj saw that Yakshas coming forward, he immediately took his arrows and cut the enemies into pieces. This is got so much, but interestingly, if you see in the 5th purport or even translation, you can see what is the destination that they have attained. They have attained Satyaloka. It is mentioned he delivered the Yakshas to the planetary system, which is situated above the sun globe and which is attainable only by first class brahmacharis. In the purport Prabhupada is giving, one has it is so fortunate that a person, if he's killed by the Lord or his devotee, in the case of here, the Dhruva Maharaj is killing. If either the Lord kills or the devotee kills the person is benefited. One has to be elevated to above the sun globe. Killing, therefore, is not always bad. If the killing is done by the Supreme Lord or his devotee or in great sacrifices, it is for the benefit of the entity killed in that way. So that is the understanding. And of course, there are also other details like what is that. Therefore, actual mukti or liberation can be obtained only by devotional service, because the devotional service, by devotional service, one can go above the Brahmaloka or to the spiritual world, where from he never comes back. Harim Vinana Ritim Taranti. Without Krishna's mercy, no one can have liberation. So one should take shelter, and that's what is mentioned in the next verse. So when Svāyambhuva Manu, he saw that, he came him and then wanted to offer good instruction, because he sees Dhruva Maharaj is just a boy and he really needs someone before things go out of hand. In fact, Dhruva Maharaj attacked Alakapuri because his brother was killed by one of them. Actually, only one of the citizens, not all of them, was guilty of killing his brother. So Dhruva Maharaj took a very serious step when his brother was killed. Huh? So war was declared, fighting was going on, and this sometimes happens in present days also. Huh? For one man's fault, a whole state is sometimes attacked. Have anyone heard recently in Andhra Pradesh, there is a very nice eco village called Kurma Gramam. Yeah. And everything is self-sustaining. The people, the devotees are producing all the facilities for themselves without depending outside. Someone has come, I don't, I mean, we don't see it as a fault of any devotee, but there are people who are envious and very angry because that disturbs their plans. So they came and have burned the whole village. So Swayambhu Manu comes and says, don't, hmm, please stop. It is not good to become unnecessarily angry. It's very interesting where in the previous chapter, we said that Dhruva Maharaj anger is approved. In fact, yeah. But what happened here is that it Swayambhu Manu is saying it is unnecessary anger. And whatever is unnecessary anger, it will lead one to hellish planet, hellish life. Now you are going beyond the limit by killing yakshas who are actually not offenders. So the role of the king is to punish who is an offender. And of course, if everyone is coming to protect that offender, then everyone becomes the part of offender. So everyone is uh, fit for punishment. But here in this case, Swayambhu Manu is saying that one person who has offended uh, is uh, mm, shouldn't be the cause of every other yakshas to be attacked or killed. So he's saying killing of sinless yakshas which you have undertaken is not at all good, not at all approved by the authorities. So this is also what happens sometimes when what was that Pahalgaon, yeah. So we can see there are some terrorists who are of the opinion that, oh, all Hindus should be wiped out on the surface of earth. What they did is, because it's too difficult to do it, so they have selected a day, selected a place, selected a set of people who were actually innocent, uh, and they have been killed, and this is not approved. Uh, and it does not befit our family, which is supposed to know the laws of religion and irreligion. So if someone who is supposed, a human is supposed to know what is right, what is wrong. Yeah, it's not that only Dhruva Maharaj should know, we can be excused. No, being a human means we should be responsible, understand what is the right thing to do, what is not. So, so here Dhruva Maharaj is asked not to do, and he is saying, Nayam Margo hi sadhu nam. This is not the right path. One should not accept the body as a self. That is not the right thing. It is especially forbidden by saintly people who follow the path of devotional service. So, a Vaishnava, or sorry, a Kshatriya is an administrator who is supposed to be very strong and strict to uh, fight and protect the people. But a Vaishnava Kshatriya uh, he is who is a devotee should understand he should be extra careful that there is no harm, unnecessary harm. Sadhunam Rishikeshanu Vartinim Vartinam means a saintly person is he who follows the path of rendering devotional service to Rishikesh. In Narada Pancharatra, it is mentioned Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Uchyate. It is the process of rendering favorable service uh, to the Supreme Lord with one's senses is called bhakti. Therefore, why should a person who is already engaged in service of the Lord engage himself in personal sense gratification? Dhruva Maharaj is advised to be stay as a devotee. Don't become a selfish. A human being, especially one who is a devotee of the Lord, should not act like this. A sadhu, a saintly devotee, is not supposed to kill animals unnecessarily. सर्वभूतात्मा भावेन भूतावासं हरिं भवाम आराध्याप दुराराध्यम विष्णुस्तत् परमं पदम. It is saying it is very difficult to achieve the spiritual abode of Hari, and you have attained that. Huh? So Manu is reminding him, don't get carried away with unnecessary anger. That don't indulge in unnecessary killing of any living entity, because that is not approved by the Lord. So because you are pure devotee, hmm, your life is meant for exemplary behavior. Why? Why? Because you are pure devotee of the Lord. Not only that, you are also recognized by all his confidential devotees to be great. So why have you undertaken such task? And that's what Svāyambhuva is saying. I'm surprised. The Lord is very pleased with his devotee when the devotee greets other people with tolerance, mercy, friendship, and equality. Titikshaya, Karunaya, Maitriya, Shakila, Cha Akhila Jantushu. Akhila Jantushu, to all the animals. Universal peace is what a devotee is supposed to have. Bhagavan Samprasidati. He is very pleased, not just Prasidati, Samprasidati. Extremely pleased. It is therefore said that saintly person is always tolerant and merciful. He is a friend to everyone, never an enemy to anyone, and he is peaceful. These are some of the good qualities. And after that, immediately, Swayambhuva Manu is saying, one who actually satisfies the Lord during one's lifetime becomes liberated from gross and subtle mental conditions. Thus, being freed from all mental modes, he achieves unlimited spiritual bliss. Uh, this purport also is very nice. It's 15 or 14. Yeah. And conclusion of this purport is the devotional process is completely different from the others. By working to please the Lord, by engaging in his senses in the Lord's loving service, the devotee is immediately situated on the transcendental platform and he enjoys unlimited bliss. So whatever other things now, they don't do this, attain the same result. And that's why Swami Manu is saying, by the sexual life of man and woman, the number of men and women in this material world is further increased, but that is not the goal. Hmm. He said, it is simply by the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord and by the interaction of three modes, uh, the whole creation, maintenance, annihilation takes place. So, whatever is happening, if someone is being killed or if someone is taking birth, don't think it is because uh, that you need to see at a bodily platform. So, he's like, my dear Dhruva, the Lord is uncontaminated. He is the remote cause of creation of this metal cosmic manifestation. So whatever is getting created, it is because of him. When he gives the impetus, many other causes and effects are produced, and thus the whole universe moves. So Sarva Karana Karanam is mentioned here in the purport. Um, no, sorry, yeah, in the purport. And then he says, uh, it appears that he is acting, but he is not acting. That is the beauty of the Lord. He is killing, but he is not the killer. Thus, it is understood that only by his inconceivable power is everything happening. And because it is inconceivable, we need to also uh, uh, approach a guru to understand this. So, I'm just seeing how far are we. I'll cover next few verses again, touching some of the important days. So he's saying, my dear Dhruva, but in the form of the time, he is the killer of everything. He has no beginning. Although he is the beginning of everything, nor is he ever exhaustible, although everything is exhausted in due course of time. So this verse number 19 is telling that the Lord, in fact, in the example, Prabhupada mentions, an example can help us to understand the inconceivable potency of the Supreme Lord. In the recent history of warfare, the Supreme Personality of Godhead created a Hitler, and before that, a Napoleon Bonaparte, and they each killed many living entities in war. But in the end, Bonaparte and Hitler were also killed. People are still very much interested in writing and reading books about Hitler and Bonaparte and how they killed so many people. Year after year, many books are published for public reading regarding Hitler's killing thousands of Jews. But no one is researching who killed Hitler and who created such a gigantic killer of the human beings. Uh, the devotees of the Lord are not much interested in the study of flickering nature of history of the world. They are interested only in Him, who is the original creator, maintainer, and annihilator. That is the purpose of Krishna consciousness movement. And the example in the next verse is the Supreme Lord, in His feature as eternal time, is present in the material world and is neutral towards everyone. Uh, no one is his friend, no one is his enemy. Hmm? But what is happening? As when the wind blows, small particles of dust fly in the air. So according to one's particular karma, one suffers or enjoys. So in the purport, the first line itself, Prabhupada says, although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the original cause of all causes, He is not responsible for anyone's material suffering or enjoyment. This is very important to understand. If you want to know more, read the purport number 20. Yeah, that gives more explanation and what is karma and how we see which is under the jurisdiction of the Lord, but still uh, is disinterested in punishing the people. Let me go to the 22. Kechit karma vadanti enam swabhavam apare nripa eke kalam pare daivam pumsah kamam utapare. He's saying the differentiation among varieties of life and their suffering, enjoyment is explained by some to be the result of karma. And someone says it is due to nature, prakriti. Others say it is because of kala, time. And some say due to fate, huh? Like destiny. And still others say this is due to desire. This particular purport is nicely telling about philosophers who are mimamsakas, uh, atheists, astronomers, sexualists, and so many other classification of mental speculators. The real conclusion is that it is our work only that binds us within this material world in different varieties of life. How these varieties have sprung up is explained in Vedas. uh, that gives about Kama, Karshit. The living entities are originally part of the Lord, like sparks of fire, but they have dropped to the material world, attracted by a desire to lord it over nature. That is the fact. Every living entity is trying to lord it over the material resources to best of his ability. And that's what is the cause of our suffering. Mm. I'll stop here, which is 22. So please refer the purpose, especially uh, 32, if I'm not wrong, 30 and yeah, 29, 27, 27 and 30. So that to understand more. And anyway, we have read through the chapter till the end to understand what is the advice that Svāyambhuva Manu is saying is give up anger and also be careful that you may displease, disrespect Kuvera, because Yakshas, and then when Kuvera is disturbed, yeah, Lord Shiva will not be pleased. So, yeah. So, thus, Swayambhu Manu, after giving instructions to Dhruva Maharaj, uh, uh, went back to his home. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you are so late night. You are reciting and explaining for us. It's our fortune that
I'm getting
it's
training.
our good fortune that you are doing this service. And yeah, this chapter is very beautifully explained, and the purport also. I just was just listening today morning itself, and it also, in my observation, it also expresses a fine balance between to proceed in the spiritual path, like in one side, being a very elevated devotee, also Dhruva Mahārāja also carried out by his anger, which is also not that good as per Svāyambhuva Manu. He came to stop him, and on the other side, he also delivered the yakshas so that they can elevate to the topmost planet. So that's also another thing. And I remember somewhere it is written that it's the the Achinta Veda Ved Tattva Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bring about. So it's never 1 or 0. It's a fine balance between.
Within logical speculation, we may not be able to understand the Achintya Veda Tattva. I think that is the purport you are referring. And there is I mean, for me, this chapter is very nice because it explains the Lord's greatness. Yeah. And not only greatness, like there are very enthusiastic devotees like Pratik Prabhu, who is very interested to know what is the cause of creation, who is the Lord really, what did he do, what is his greatness. And yeah, for me, I would just make it simple, saying, oh, it's not my capacity to understand. Yeah, but that's not the only approach. The approach is one who has the capacity to understand the greatness of the Lord should really know. And how to know that? If we go through these wonderful chapters, then we understand, oh, Lord is, yeah, he's killing, but he's not the killer. Wow. How possible? Yeah.
Yes.
It adds more questions, but it's not adding more questions. A person who has faith, this will not add a new question to him. Rather, it will clarify the question of unable to understand the greatness of the Lord. But now, yeah, I can understand. Yeah, because it is said in the Vedas that, he's this, he's not that, he's this. Then I know more. Yeah, just and then if there is
Yes.
still settled, then we'll get to next chapters where again the glorification of the Lord is there. It only helps us.
Yes,
And then,
Prabhuji.
as you brought up about Dhruva, yeah, we are talking about a pure devotee, and even a pure devotee might sometimes, yeah, in the process of executing his devotional service or in execution of his duty, he may get carried away, and then there is always some senior. Yeah, in this case, who is the senior? Swayambhuva Manu.
So,
He came and said, "Okay, hey boy, listen," and then Dhruva Maharaj listens. Yeah, that is all. I mean, that is also another level of understanding this chapter, just apart from the storyline.
yes, Prabhuji. Yes. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, other questions? Oh, yeah, share any comments? No, then yeah, wish you a very nice evening. See you tomorrow. Panchakalpatarabhyasya kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंद। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna
Thank you.
Prabhuji.